figure out what you should invest in more pricey media types. You have the ability, whether organic or through paid, to test messaging narrative iteratively, very fast, to narrow it down and learn and say, okay, now we know what we should base our $500,000 TV spot on. The waterfall is still TV, which I don't understand. It's much easier to put out content and posts, whether it's from the brand, from creators, to figure out what is resonating from a core influential audience, a very passionate audience, to decide, well, now that we're going to move into CTV, where should we invest? Not in the 25 ad types. Let's pick 3, because those are the ones that are essentially going to land the greatest. So I think people are just unutilizing the medium to find out at scale how people are going to orient around the brand. How do we make it attractive? How do we get them to do business with the product, to then move it upstream and say, okay, now we know where to place bigger bets. It would be the akin of playing around with penny stocks before you figure out if you can afford a Google stock. I don't think we can afford Google stock today, but if you start to look at it, that's how we do it. It's the same way when people open franchises. They open with 1, they get to 100, they get to 1,000. We're in the era where everybody wants 10,000 of them day one when they don't even know if the first one is going to survive. So I think there's some basics in just looking at how you can use it. The other thing is I like to characterize all the social platforms as different characters at the family reunion. So somebody got big families, got a crazy family reunion, and they're different characters. They all have a different element they bring to the table. Let's call them rules of engagement. So you need to learn what is best suited for Instagram versus TikTok versus Meta versus Snap versus Pinterest versus Reddit. And you need to map that on some of the ideals of the brand, because they all accomplish different things and can accelerate the narrative in different ways. And I think the idea is to figure that out, to then start, again, like I said, start to place bigger creative bets on what we think is really going to work. And I think that's just not being done in the space. I think we went very past that. But I think with healthcare looking at catching up to where, let's say, spirits brands have done, they've cut their teeth on a lot of things and figured out the cheat codes that didn't work. So I think there's a massive opportunity to do it in a second, third chapter better than some of the brands who already spent the money to learn the lessons you don't have to go learn.